Blessed be, welcome to the Circle of Heka. I'm Lady Amaris. So as you may have realised from reading the title of this video, it's called Transitions, and as you may have also kind of realised if you've watched some of my previous videos, that I've changed the colour of my hair. Now this is the transition phase, going from blonde, which I was for quite a few years, back to my original colour, which was brown, dark brown, kind of dark brown black almost. And so it is that transition phase in my hair, obviously in my outward appearance, but it's also that transition that's been happening for quite a while internally. And so it's been happening for, as I said, a while, quite a few years. It's been a slow burn, and now a lot of this comes to almost a maybe a turning point where a lot of that internal work that's been going on is now starting to manifest in an external way, and that is a lot of things that I've been thinking about and doing and putting in structures in place for the past year, maybe a little bit more, are now starting to come into fruition. And I'll be talking about those in a few videos as we come. But so a lot of this change has obviously been, if you've watched a few of my other recent videos, you understand that my mother died of cancer 3 years ago on the day after Mother's Day. So each Mother's Day is going to have that kind of bittersweet moment, but it also is. It's been 3 years, and I have. Let's say I've been kind of in kind of self-preservation mode almost, shut down in a lot of ways. In a lot of my psychic kind of abilities, I've put a shell around, and I did that not only when I found out my mother had cancer, but also a little bit more so when I a couple of months after finding out that she had cancer, I also had a bilateral pulmonary embolism, which is basically blood clots on both lungs, both sides, so bilateral, and which could have resulted in me having heart surgery, but thankfully didn't have to. But I was on warfarin for quite a few months, and if anyone has been on that kind of drug, who know that it's not kind on your body. And during that phase, in the last 3 years, upon finding out of my mother's illness, and also tackling my own illness, I gained a considerable amount of weight. I've gained, I think, almost 40 kilos, and that's a large amount of weight on my body, and so it's now almost that all of those sorts of things have been put together to buffer myself as I start to heal, as I start to grow and change. It's almost like a chrysalis around, and now I have to start dismantling the chrysalis to let the new growth be seen on the outer. Now, so part of that transition, as I said, is changing my hair colour. My hair didn't fare very well during my health crisis, as they say, and taking the warfarin. It started to break off. It started to it just didn't have the condition that it should have, and some of that was the fact that I was bleaching my hair, but at the same time I wasn't bleaching my hair on a very regular basis. It wasn't like I was being really harsh with my hair. there are things that I did, to help keep the condition of my hair, but it was a very noticeable, drastic change in the quality of my hair, which just hasn't returned. So part of that is trying to nourish my hair and get back to the way it was. And I think there's a picture that I put up once before, but I'll put it up just there again of how my hair was and how I looked previously, and just I don't know, getting back to that that phase of glowing, and yeah, I'm kind of done with the blonde, and getting back to my roots, as they say. And that again comes back to getting back to my roots and getting back to that core magic, that core essence of magic, which is brewing inside of me. And again, that's going to come out a little bit more in some of the things that plans that I have for the future. So it's exciting times. It's that transition, and just working a little bit more on that heart energy, that heart chakra. You say having a bilateral pulmonary embolism obviously is a symptom of more internal work. That whole chakra obviously being shut down, and energy flow not flowing through there. So I'm well aware of the spiritual ramifications of the event, and working on that. So I'll just share with you something that I thought was quite interesting, and I'm not the jury's out. I'm still thinking about what I think and feel about the information that I've been given. But I recently went, because I know that I have been shut down, and I am now working on, as I said, the chrysalis, so the butterfly can emerge. I am now working on breaking down those barriers and reawakening those facets within myself. And but doing it in a slow way. It's I've mentioned before about going hard and fast. It might seem like a good idea. You want to get there quickly. Everything is about achieving results now. Quick hacks to get to the destination. But the thing is that if you go really quickly and don't assimilate and absorb and get that slowly get that understanding into yourself. If you go too fast, it just becomes too much too quickly, and that's when you start to have those kind of things of maybe going off the deep end, or being carted off to the booby hatch because you haven't been able to assimilate those thoughts and feelings and experiences. You need to do it at your own pace, and everyone's pace is different. But it's better to do it slowly and then just absorb and reevaluate, and then do a little bit more than just opening the floodgates and having it overwhelm you. And so that's the process that I'm going through. So it's a bit of getting rid of old stuff and things that don't serve you, as they say, and just just becoming the person that I originally was and was going towards before the hiccup happened. And so I went to what's it called, a workshop where we were talking about how to read people's energy and how to do kind of healing work and whatnot. And I decided to go because, one, it's always good to learn new stuff, but it's a way of facilitating that reawakening. And also I like to go to different things where people don't know me and don't know my background and don't know certain things, because then in my eyes if certain things come up, it makes them a little bit more legitimate. It's not that someone knows me and is trying to pander to my ego or just tell me what I want to hear. Then if things come out that are spot on, it's it makes it to me a little bit more legitimate. And so as we were working through certain techniques and certain things, one of the ladies basically said that my aura is green. I have a green aura. So if anyone reads auras and can see that, green aura. But the heart area was pink, and also pink with gold kind of sparkly flecks, as if it had glitter. So a glittery heart. So that's like that whole area, and merging into certain other areas as if it's starting to expand. So there was the pink and the green. She also said that there was a lady that she'd never. She has her guides, and this is a new lady that she'd never met before, and as she was assuming that it was my guide, and she described this lady to me, and then later on in this same workshop, the man that was facilitating the workshop, he again said that there was a lady, described the lady exactly the same as this other woman did, and it wasn't like they were colluding, or one heard what the other one was saying. It was two independent times at two different times of the day, and described the same lady, the same thing, and that she was a guide in his words, and I was in the description of this lady. It was very much basically describing myself when I was younger, so like a younger version of myself, but at the same time a future version of myself, if that makes any sense. And there were other things said, that obviously that there was the area of my heart chakra. There's been something that needs to be worked on that has come from a previous life, which I thought was interesting, and that certain events within this life have re-triggered that energy that needs to be healed, and at the moment it's in the process of being healed, which is the pink glittery aura, and which is exactly what I kind of had, not so much the past life, but that kind of rings like it would be true, I suppose, but the whole bubbling, and in order to heal that area, and that it's in the process of healing, which I thought was good, because one, I know that I'm in the process of healing, but again, it's always nice to have an independent view. Also, there was ideas of this woman who was my guide, having elven blood, being of the Fae, and the guy kind of basically said that, because I said, oh well, it sounds like me when I was younger, and he was basically saying, yes, it's you, and it is of the saying that. Like a family member, but but my future self, or one of my former lives, or something like that. So I'm not sure how that actually works, because I haven't done a lot with the whole spirit guide kind of idea. So if anyone's got any ideas on that, feel free to let me know in the comments. But he also said that, which I thought was quite interesting, and again, all of it, I'm not, the jury is still out, as I was saying, whether I believe some of it, rings true, but then who knows. But basically saying that the witch blood, or that kind of energy runs through my family, and that at many times different members of the family, if they haven't had some kind of outlet for that, they have or not kind of understood that they've kind of gone a little bit, which I would say that would probably be correct. that many have that energy, but that's not saying that I'm special in any way, or my family is special. It's just, it's nice, and there's many families that are exactly like that. So it's not like I'm a special breed or anything. There's many special breeds. But I thought it was quite interesting, and it lends itself to the fact that it's something that comes out in family members, in quite many families, and the idea that just because they're specifically just saying that at this moment in time I'm using that energy in witchcraft, many different family members have had that same ability, but haven't put a specific twist or name on it, and that would be the same with many people in many families. It wouldn't necessarily mean that they followed witchcraft, but there would be some kind of supernatural, paranormal, or some kind of thing that a family member was known for. And not necessarily witchcraft per se. So I thought that was quite interesting, because again, from both sides, and saying it comes from both sides of the family, not just one side of the family, and that it's not that I know all of my lineage, but I know that my mother's side comes from the Celtic side. It is from Ireland, and my father's side comes from the Baltic, the Slav side, and there are many traditions within both that are very similar, and that kind of witch energy runs very, very strong within both of those peoples. So I'm a bit of a mutt anyway, so a bit of a magical mutt as well. But I just found that interesting, and it confirms some of the things that have been going on within myself, and it is kind of nice to know that the idea of spirit guides, but the idea that you are your own spirit guide. You can be your own spirit guide. Time, in my view, is not linear. Let's say you have the idea of the old film strips, and each frame on a film strip could be a lifetime, but that whole film strip is yourself, and at any point you can go forward and back, up and down, or whatever, however, to access a life, or access a moment in how we perceive time. But it's all happening at the same time. It's all one thing. same as like, you know, you've got like a DVD and you can go forward and back within that DVD, or forward and back in time, but the DVD itself is the thing that exists in time and out of time, if that makes sense. So the idea of you being your own spirit guide, your own guide through this lifetime, is exciting, and it's also comforting, having different entities maybe being different manifestations of yourself through different lifetimes and learning different things. So I thought that was quite interesting, and something that I will explore and ponder myself. So again, transitions. Hopefully in this transition phase, I will be able to get some of the other members of the coven to get in front of the camera. I know that in previous times I've mentioned it, that there's that not so much deer in the headlights, but deer, that frightened look where it's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. But that frightened, terrified animal look, like deep in the eyes. So hopefully slowly I'll get them eased into the idea of coming on camera, not necessarily presenting the way that I do, but just being a little bit more on camera, because I know that I'm sure that many of you would like to see the other members as well and have different points of view. So that is something that I'm working on, and yeah, it's exciting times. Lots of changes, and working on that heart energy a lot more. And in the past few months, leaps and bounds, I would say, I have gone. I did suffer for quite a while in the after my episode and beyond of heart palpitations, and I came to a realization of where that was coming from, and once I had put certain things in place, those heart palpitations have subsided. I no longer have those, and they were a frequent occurrence. So as I'm opening up again and learning and growing and changing and filling out the area again, finding my niche, finding my space, it's exciting, and it's always nice to know again that having that external validation, not so much external validation, but confirmation. You don't need to be validated, but sometimes you just need to kind of have that external confirmation that you're not in your own little fantasy land, having a big blend of yourself, that what you're thinking and feeling is something that is true and real, and that you're moving in the right direction. You have that deep inside you. You know whether you're moving in the right direction or not. But sometimes it's nice to have another confirmation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a little bit of a ramble, a little bit about me, getting to know me a little bit more, I suppose. Next time you see me, I will probably have different colour hair again, darker hair, and I hope you like it. I hope you weren't stuck on the idea of me being a blonde, but life changes, life goes in mysterious ways. So merry meet, merry part, merry meet again. Blessed be.
If you like this video and want to see more, please click on the links provided. If you think this witchcraft thing may be for you, please subscribe. Blessed be.